For over 2,000 years, there's been this one simple story, told by Jesus, that has this incredible power to act like a mirror for our inner lives. On the surface, it's a story about farming, but as we're about to see, it's really a story about the human heart.
So when Jesus gets ready to tell this story, he does something, well, unexpected. He didn't start with some big, complex theological argument. Nope, he didn't open with a long list of rules or a moral code you had to follow. That wasn't the way in.
And you might think, okay, maybe a big miracle to grab everyone's attention. Not even close. He started much, much simpler than that.
That's literally it. That's the grand opening. It all begins with the most ordinary scene you can imagine. A farmer, a bag of seed, and a field. But in that simple image, that's where we find this profound reflection of our own lives.
And this is where the puzzle really starts, because the story isn't actually about the farmer. The sower is doing his job, and it's not about the seed. The seed is good. Both of those are constants. The real variable, the one thing that changes the outcome every single time, is the soil. And the soil, well, that's you and me.
Okay, so first up, the seed lands on the path. That hard-packed dirt that's been walked on a million times. This is a heart that's just closed off. When truth lands here, it can't sink in. It just sits right there on the surface until it gets snatched away. It isn't even about anger or rejection, it's just indifference. The heart has become too hard to even let the message through the door.
All right, so we've seen soil that's just too hard. Now let's look at something that seems way more promising at first glance, but it's hiding a pretty fatal flaw just beneath the surface.
And this is what's so fascinating about this one. The initial reaction is pure joy. We're talking about someone who hears the message and is just instantly on fire. They feel all the emotion, they love it, they receive it with so much energy. But it's all happening right on the surface.
So on the outside, it looks amazing, right? All this excitement, all this energy. But just below that thin layer of dirt, it's all rock. There's just no room for roots to grow down deep. So the moment life gets hard, the moment the sun starts beating down, this exciting new growth just withers and dies because it has absolutely no foundation.
And this is such a powerful idea. It's not the trouble that kills the faith, it's the shallow roots. The external pressure isn't the real problem, it's the internal weakness. A faith that's just built on feelings can't survive when the feelings fade and things get tough.
Okay, on to soil number 3. And this one might be the sneakiest of them all. Because here, the seed actually sprouts. It takes roots, but it's not alone in there. This is a picture of a heart that's genuinely sincere, but it's just completely overcrowded. Faith is in there, for sure, but it's in a constant battle for sunlight, for water, for nutrients, fighting against this tangled mess of other things. It's a fight for survival in a space that's just too full.
And what are these thorns? Well, think about it. It's the constant pressure of deadlines, the nonstop buzz of your phone, the anxiety about the future, the desire for more stuff. These things aren't necessarily evil, right? They're often just normal parts of life. But if we let them go unchecked, they grow so thick that they slowly and sometimes silently just choke the life out of what really matters.
But thankfully, the story doesn't end there, with hearts that are hard or shallow or choked out. After all that, we finally get to see what's possible. We get to see the promise of good soil. And listen, the good soil isn't perfect soil. That's not the point. It's receptive soil. It's a heart that's open, that's teachable, and this is the key. It holds on. It doesn't give up when things get hard, and it doesn't get distracted by all the other noise. And when that powerful seed finally lands in a heart like this, man, something amazing happens. It doesn't just survive, it multiplies. For some, it produces a harvest 30 times what was planted. I mean, that's an incredible return.
But it doesn't stop there. For others, it's 60 times the original amount. The growth is just exponential.
And then, for some, it's 100-fold. Just think about that. An absolutely explosive, life-changing harvest, all from one single seed landing in good, well-tended ground. So it's really easy to listen to all this and start thinking, okay, so which one am I? Am I the rocky soil, the thorny one? We turn it into a personality quiz, but if that's all we take away, we're missing the real secret of the story. This isn't a final diagnosis. Because here's the game changer, the whole point of the parable. Good soil is not something you are, it's something you become. The condition of your heart isn't a fixed state. You are not stuck. And that idea changes everything.
right? It means this isn't a life sentence, it's an invitation. But here's the thing. You don't just drift into good soil by accident. It takes work. You have to cultivate it.
So what does that actually look like? Well, we can soften that hard ground by just choosing to listen, to be open. We can get in there and remove the rocks by building our faith on something more than just a fleeting emotion. And we can pull the weeds by being intentional about clearing out all the noise and the distractions that are constantly competing for our attention.
So in the end, this ancient story comes down to a really simple but powerful question for every single one of us. The sower is always faithful. The seed always works. Those things are constants. The only variable in the whole equation is the ground. So the question is, what kind of soil are you offering today?